Kenny Pickett, the next franchise quarterback of your Cleveland Browns. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, man. This is getting very interesting. Now, there's a lot of national guys and local guys having to walk things back because that's what happens when you come from another team and we say, Kenny Pickett with the small hands, with 2 gloves. We didn't like you, Kenny. I'm sorry. You played for you got drafted by the Steelers. We wanted no parts of you, and we thought you were garbage. There's half of our commentary that still thinks you're not very good. But I'll say this. Pickett is better than DTR. All right? I'll give you that. Am I going to say that Kenny Pickett is the truth? Am I going to say that Kenny Pickett is a starter? Am I even going to say Kenny Pickett is going to be a long-term answer? No. I think Kenny Pickett is a transition into a room that Kevin Stefanski wants to unleash his playbook on. I'll say that. And the demeanor in the room needs to be different. So I'll say this. When you take a look at what Deshaun Watson was, you take a look at what Baker Mayfield was, you take a look at some of the guys that they had in the locker room, even Jameis Winston, they're kind of eccentric. Guys that have some, quirky personalities, outspoken, some of the different things they like to do. DTR liked to dress. He had that gear on. His drip was crazy. Jameis Winston was known for his pregame speeches and the way he went about talking and this preacher-esque, just vocabulary. And I think Kevin Stefanski is a person, he tries to mold and tries to adapt and tries to be inclusive for everybody. But I think one of the things Kevin Stefanski said is, listen, if I'm going down with the way I want to do it. And that's from top to bottom. What I want in my quarterback room, I want guys that's going to keep it bored. I want to hear. I want a medium. I don't want y'all talking too much. We're going to run this play action. We want you to be cerebral. We want you to be right down the line, and that's how I'm looking for it. And trust me, ain't nothing wrong with that. I've always said this one thing. I'm critical of Kevin Stefanski when it comes to a lot of different things. But as far as I'm concerned, you got 1 year. I don't care if you got Kenny Pickett. If you like Kenny Pickett and you thought he was going to be good, bring him in. You know why? Because you got 1 year to make this work. You got one year to give yourself some more time. And if you're going to be comfortable with Kenny Pickett, you think that he's going to be a guy that could come in and deliver if he called upon, then so be it. Played for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's seen some stuff over here. Does that mean he's going to be able to come out and just ball out and be that guy? Not necessarily. But at the end of the day, it helps to be around a winner. It helps to be around something that's successful. There's something to be said for that. So I got no problem with Kenny Pickett, but here's my thing. I want to ask you, what you think they told Kenny Pickett? Because this crazy for me. You ever be in a relationship and one person think they in a relationship and the other one don't? You ever think one person be like, I thought we was exclusive. I thought we was together. You're like, we just kicking it. Can I meet your mom? She's sick right now. What do you mean she's sick right now? You were just talking to her the other day. She sounded fine. You said she was on vacation. She got sick at vacation. You see where I'm going with it. What did the Browns tell Kenny Pickett? Because this dude really seems like they done told him that he might be in a committed relationship and he might have a chance. You tell me what you think. Let me load this up right quick. Because I heard this and was like, oh, you think you might get you some minutes, huh, Kenny?
The name of the game in this league is winning, and you've done that. You're 15-10 as a starter in the National Football League. Does that kind of fuel you and say, hey, man, there are plenty of people out there that have not had the success, haven't put on tape what I put on tape. I want another crack at it. I am a starter in this league.
Yeah, I do. I do believe that, and I think this is a great team to continue to add to that and win some games here. So there's a lot of talent.
Whoa! Hold on. Let me bring that back. You said that kind of quick and confidently, Kenny. You got your mullet working. You got the party in the back working with the Browns hat on, the crispy lids, Browns football. I don't know. Where'd you get that from? I need that hat, by the way. Let me know where you found it. But you're not going to just move that past G. Bush. What did you say?
The name of the game in this league is winning, and you've done that. You're 15-10 as a starter in the National Football League. Does that kind of fuel you and say, hey, man, there are plenty of people out there that have not had the success, haven't put on tape what I put on tape. I want another crack at it. I am a starter in this league.
Yeah, I do. I do believe that, and I think this is a great team to continue to add to that and win some games here. So there's a lot of talent, a lot of great football players here, a lot of great coaches. So I'm excited to learn the system and get going.
Was it helpful, do you think, for your development to go to a place like Philly that obviously had the success that it had, be behind a quarterback who has had the success that Jalen has had in this league, be around Saquon and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Goddard in that great line, and kind of just be able to see things maybe from a different perspective and work on maybe little things that when you're constantly thrown in the fire, you don't get the chance to really work on as much?
Yeah, I think it was huge. Having a chance to join that team, that franchise, and see how it's run from the top down, really. Getting to be, a full season with those caliber of players and seeing how they go about their business definitely only helped me in my career.
What do you think is kind of the biggest thing that you learned while you're in Philly, or the biggest thing you'll take and you want to be able to show on the field here?
Yeah, I think team culture, and I think a lot of people look for other things in the NFL because obviously it's the NFL. It's a different game a little bit, right? Guys are bigger, faster, stronger, but the core values of football still hold true, at the NFL level. And I think that was like the heartbeat of the team, was the culture of the team, seeing how everybody cared about one another, how hard every guy played. I think that's why we got to where we got to.
Have you talked to maybe some of the other guys around the league that are in a similar situation too? Because it kind of feels like we're in almost a renaissance period, right? Of first-round quarterbacks who maybe it didn't work out, go somewhere, they back up for a year. Sam Darnold's a backup with the 49ers for a year, and then goes and all of a sudden, that's where it is. Is there something to that? I don't know if you've talked to any of those guys who have similar experiences, but maybe that year of learning where you're not necessarily your head spinning because you're having to play every Sunday, but you're just kind of learning, growing, and then now ready for that next opportunity.
Yeah, I think that goes a long way. I got a chance to train with Geno Smith down in Florida for a little bit. I'm going to head back down there and get some more work with him, but just talking to him and have so much respect for his journey and what he went through. And he just stayed at it and he works hard. So he's a guy that I feel like we're pretty like-minded in how we train, so we get along really well. And just being able a chance to watch him work every day, bounce things off of him and his career and what he's been through. He's a great guy, so he's one of the guys that I've definitely been able to talk to this offseason.
What's one thing you want, or two things, as many as you want actually, that you want Browns fans to know about Kenny Pickett, the quarterback? And I'll ask you about Kenny Pickett, the man, in a second.
Yeah, just I'll do anything to win. I think that's probably the number one criteria. You talked about adversity and being in different situations. When I step between the lines, I will put it on the line to go win. So that's the one guarantee that I'll bring.
What do you want them to know about Kenny Pickett, the man?
I just try to be the best person I can be, man. It's not hard to be a good guy. I think you got to go out of your way to be a bad guy. I want to embrace the city, embrace the fans, embrace the people in this building, treat everybody the right way, and usually things work out in your favor.
We're excited to see you get assimilated into this offense, get to work with Coach Stefanski, Coach Reese, and Bill Musgrave, and see what you can do here now that you're a Cleveland Brown. So we're thrilled to have you. Welcome, and hopefully this is the start of something special.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey, listen. They gave him the introductory press conference. They sent Nathan Zagura out there. Gave him that 5-minute freshen up. And they traded some capital. They traded a little 5th-round pick for him. I mean, he was sounding mighty confident. I mean, what was they telling him when they signed him? When they traded for him, what did they tell him? Because right now, there's Kenny Pickett. We'll get to Russell Wilson. He had a visit last week, too. You let me know what's going on. Is this thing trending towards they might not be getting no quarterback in the draft? Because when he talked about, I was told I had an opportunity to compete for the starting role. Oh, why would you say that? When you know the Cleveland Browns got a number 2 overall pick, Myles Garrett the other day. I was going to put the clip in, but I decided I could paraphrase. Andrew Siciliano asked him straight point blank, you know how they drafting their quarterback? Yeah, I know who they taking. He didn't say draft. He said, do you know what the Browns' plan is at quarterback? And Myles Garrett said, yep, I know exactly what it is. He said, can you tell him? You know, I can't tell you that. That's wild. So right now, we're going to talk about this. I don't know. This is the first time that I've been wavering on whether or not they're going to take a quarterback at 2. This is the only time. And it don't really got nothing to do with Pickett. I mean, it kind of does. I still think he's a backup. I think when people say, I'm going to give you an opportunity to compete, that's a nice way of saying you better come in and ball, and somebody get hurt, you might get that job. But here's the thing. It's the cumulative effect. It's this and the Russ move. If you bring in a Russ, which, by the way, I think there's some other ulterior motives by his camp too. You telling me you got Russ and Pickett? I mean, that is not the most mentory position for a young quarterback to be in. A veteran who's done a lot, that won the Super Bowl in this league, and another guy that's a young veteran that's on his 5th year of his rookie deal and trying to get back into the league and become a starter. That's not the best place to really wrap your arms around nobody. What do you guys think? Let's get to your comments. Let me get to the comments here. What's up? There we go. Our Bishop says, D Green looks like and play like 100 hood dudes. Tommy Shepard 2.0. You right. Hey, listen, Green, he's definitely you know, saying Southeast Community Center All-American. He's the dude that be in the gym. He's the dude that hoop in jean shorts, like 2 big jean shorts too, and a pair of unzipped Allen Iversons. We appreciate the super chat though. Let's get down to what are we doing? Let's get to this quarterback situation. Let me see. Master Mosh says, man, nobody can get behind mediocrity. If we wrong, we wrong. But the fact that this is accepted is questionable for people who claim they want to build and winning teams. Winners do not accept mediocrity. I was surprised when they traded some picks for Kenny Pickett. I was very surprised. Man. Buckeye guy says, get Wilson as a starter, Pickett as a backup, and keep Zappy for 3rd string. I think Zappy already signed with the Chiefs, I think. No days off. Still the best handle in all of the game. No days off. It sounds like they're going to take a quarterback later in the draft, maybe Melrose, Jalen Melrose, or the Louisville quarterback, and seeing how things play out. Better class next year if needed. Let's see. You said it. Stefanski and Brown got 1 more year. Yep, crazy. After Miles said it, I'm wondering if Miles really did have a private sit down with Haslam off the books and nobody knew about it. He might have. Here's my thought process. Bear with me. Y'all, if you reading this long version, put it in the comment section. I'm sitting here telling y'all right now. People don't want to hear this, but Andrew Bear and Stefanski, they don't sound like they're on the hot seat. And listen, I'm gonna be and if you hear this, I need y'all all to tell people where you heard it here first. Don't let them steal this quote. Don't let them steal it, because this is new. I ain't heard nobody say this. From all things that are planning out right now, I feel like the Haslams were the people who wanted Deshaun Watson. I think the Haslams pushed it, and Andrew Bear and Kevin Stefanski was like, all right, we'll go along with it, dog, but we don't feel that's fair if it just don't work out. That come back on us. And when he signed the deal, he said, if it don't work, I'll take the blame for it. Don't even worry about it. Y'all good with me. Gave him the extensions. I believe before the season, he said, you better do everything you can do to make it work. Because obviously, this Haslams wanted to work. When the injuries came down the pipeline and he tore his Achilles heel, the whole booing stuff happened. They went back to Jimmy, and Jimmy said, you know what? That was on us. Haslam said that was on us. We'll figure it out. He said, all right, well, listen, if you want to move back to what you guys want to move back to, go ahead. Get your coordinator. So they fired Dorsey. They went and got the guys. He said, I like Tommy Reese. And, you know, they did the thing with the coaching staff and got the offensive line coach up out of here. And then when it came to the Myles Garrett situation, the Haslams was a 1,000% with Andrew Berry. A guy on the hot seat does not get the opportunity to negotiate with a player that is a Hall of Fame talent that wants to leave. Do you think that a lame duck GM would have got the opportunity to even negotiate that deal? No. If he was a lame duck GM and Myles Garrett is such an asset, Jimmy Haslam would have took the meeting. They would have took the meeting and said, no, I'm not leaving that up to you. I got to make sure this is done correctly because he might be here after you, Andrew. What do you tell him? Nope, get it done with Andrew Barrett. Then they go to the quarterbacks, right? So they get to the quarterbacks and he trades a 5th round pick for Pickett. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe he's the 3rd string. Maybe that's the guy they want to move with 3rd string, whatever the case, camp arm. Then you get to Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is on the visit. And I'm like, what? Russell Wilson is on the visit. Like, that don't make no sense. That dude, he was never an equation for no Browns fans. All the quarterbacks went off the board. They're going off the board, flying off the board. They look like they didn't want Flacco. They look like they was never interested in Winston. They didn't want Jacoby Brissett back. Zappy, all those guys, all of them is off the books. And if they do sign Russell Wilson, and you got the veteran and you got another backup that I don't know necessarily does that bode well for taking Shedeur Sanders or taking Cam Ward and putting him in between two guys that A, want to extend their career and B, get their career off the ground. So the only thing that I could come up with and the only thing that I could look at my crystal ball and say is maybe these dudes ain't on the hot seat. Maybe it don't matter if they don't play very well this year because they've already given them the pass. Because Stefanski and Barry had nothing to do with the L they took. So that resets a lot of things. Because if they was under fire, they would probably just take the young quarterback and hope. This don't seem like a young quarterback and hope draft. This seemed like they trying to get Russell Wilson and get them 8-9 wins. They look like they may try to draft him a Travis Hunter and put him with Jerry Jeudy and maybe go get Brandon Ayuk, and all of a sudden Myles Garrett saying, well, look, I could do something with Bitonio back, and while you at it, go get me Nick Chubb back. That now starts to look at it as a Russell Wilson, Travis Hunter, Jerry Jeudy, Joe Bitonio, Myles Garrett is back. They got the kid from Tampa Bay who looked like he could be something, and you bring Nick Chubb back. All of a sudden, you ain't looking so bad. Maybe it's just me. You tell me if I'm tripping. 1,600 people hit that like button. Exactly, G. Haslam's forced their hand, and now they finally being given freedom to do it their way. Let's see what they do. It's starting to look that way to me. Ooh, it's starting to look that way. Watson deal wasn't a bad deal at the time. Watson was the same conversation as Mahomes. And blaming Watson for no run game, bad protection, and drops and penalties is dumb. I've always said this. For people that the Deshaun Watson deal, that when people say in hindsight, it's the worst trade in history. At the time, you guys are looking at hindsight. At the time, he was mentioned with Mahomes as one of the best in the league. At the time, listen, and I'm never going to fault an owner for being aggressive. If you want, listen, I didn't fault Kobe Altman for the Cavs. The Cavs had the same great record. They had George Niang and Karis LeVert. You know what they did? with George Niang and Karis LeVert. They traded him for DeAndre Hunter. And guess what the Cavs look like? Juggernauts now. Look like juggernauts now. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Let's see. The life. I like that. I like that hashtag too. I like that name. Exactly. These moves look like their jobs are safe for another 2 to 3 years. They drafted a quarterback in 25 or 26, 25 to build the core. Hey. Hey, telling you, man. Let's keep it pushing. Very, 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 very interesting. Very interesting. Let's continue going. I got some other stuff to get to. Want to make sure I can get to it. One of the things that that happened since we've been, moving around,